Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States, which is 10 a.m. if you're in Australia or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. Hope you guys and girls are well. Remember, if you do miss the live streams, you can catch up at any time by clicking the videos tab on my Twitch page, because I always upload my streams after the stream. Remember too, if you want to wishlist the game we're going to be working on today, you can type !Steam in Twitch chat or click the graphic in my panels below my stream. So we're going to continue working on the study for the House in the Hollow game. We've almost finished all the assets, then we can jump into Unreal and start putting it all together. But today we're going to be finishing off the wall section for the study, the paneling, the wall paneling, and then I have to do the floor in Substance Painter. And after that, I think that's pretty much it for the stuff for the study. So then we can jump into Unreal probably next week on Monday. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me while I'm working. If I can help in any way, I'm happy to try. If you just want to pop in and say hello, that is always welcome. But if all you want to do is watch, that is completely fine. I'm just going to grab a quick drink before we get into it. Nice cold water. All right. So let's get straight into 3D Studio Max. So yesterday we were working on this wall paneling. We got the paneling pieces pretty much, I hit the wrong button, I always hit the Windows key, pretty much done. We were just working on this piece over the fireplace, which crashed Max at the end of the stream, so we'll give it another go, but we won't be using the Boolean. It was the Boolean function that caused Max to crash out. I don't know why. Max being Max. We're going to actually just use a slice plane instead. It's safer, it's just safer. So I am using Max 2021, so the new version of Max. I'm just going to go into isolation mode here and we'll jump into the viewport. Okay, now I'm going to select the bottom half and we'll turn the slice plane on. And let's slice it. I don't know, we're just going to make sure we go past the edge here. So here should be good. We'll slice it here. And let's slice it here. There. And now we'll rotate the slice plane around. And let's slice it, I guess about here. Smokeberry Barbecue, good to see you. Next we Boolean it and wait for the crash. No, I just said I'm not going to be doing the Boolean. I'm not going to risk it with Max. We're going to use a slice plane instead. It's safer. No Boolean, no Boolean. Look, normally Booleans are fine, but yesterday Max did not like it. Did not like it at all. No Boolean, we're not going to risk it. Let's jump out of isolation mode. I'll jump back in 2 seconds. I don't know. You know what Max is like. Max is a temperamental beast at the best of times. And I'm just going to select the piece through the middle that we just cut out with the slice plane. Just got to make sure I get it all. Got to get it all. That looks like all of it. And we're just going to delete that bit. Much safer and easier than using a Boolean. Ah, man. Okay, now just let me jump out of this so I can see what's going on here. There we go. So that bit's cut out, which is good. And it's all hidden within the geometry, which is good. So I think we're good for this piece of for this piece of wall. Good stuff. Let's just go back to flat shaded, just easier for me to work. All right. So let's name this study wall underscore fireplace, because we're going to have to save this one as a unique object because we cut a hole in it. Okay, and then these ones over here, we're just going to call this one study wall. So this is the one we're going to duplicate and create hardware instance static meshes, HISMs, HISM. And then this one is a unique piece because it's a smaller section of wall. We're going to call this study wall. What will we call it? Study wall small. Yeah, why not? And then the last one, because these two here are going to be the same as this one, and the ones that go here and here will be the same as this one. But we do have this really narrow piece here at the end, and we'll call this one study wall smallest. There we go. Why not? All right. I'm just going to we'll use that smallest piece for the sides here of the fireplace. So we should be good now. The only thing that I'm not sure about, I don't know if this room has a window in it. No, I know it has a door here on this side of the wall, but I don't think it has a window. I'd have to jump into the game level to check. If it does have a window, we'll have to jump back into Max and create a paneling piece for under the window and above the window. But I don't think it does. I think it just has a door, a glass door on this side. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But let's export these pieces so that they're ready for us to bring into Unreal. So study wall fireplace. Get into the right folder, study walls. Okay, and this one is just study wall, the one we're going to use most. And then we've got study wall small. And finally, study wall smallest. Good. Okay, I think our walls are done. Barring me having to make anything for a window. But I don't think there is a window. Could be wrong, but I don't think there is. I probably am wrong. I know there is a window in this room. There may be one in this room. So walls are done. Good. Fireplace section for the walls is done. Oh, actually, one thing I did forget here for the fireplace. Now again, I'm working on the study for the game The House in the Hollow. If you don't want spoilers, you probably should not watch the stream. I'll do my best to avoid spoilers, but I'm about to mention something. So this wall section here. Now there's going to be something you have to do in the game, which will reveal a hidden panel in this wall. So I'm going to place the panel. Now I already know that I want to put a deer's head above this. You know, one of those things that horrible people that go hunting for wild animals, when they shoot them, they mount their head on a plaque. One of those is going to be going above the fireplace. At least at the moment, that's in what I'm thinking for design wise. So I'm just going to make an allowance to know that I'm going to have a deer head maybe up around here. So So I want the paneling that opens to be down here so it's low enough for the player to reach and not going to be hidden by the deer head sitting on the wall. So let's pick a panel. Not these ones because they're sort of partially obscured here by the fireplace, so it's got to be this row. We could go anywhere along the row. I could go directly in the middle or off to one side. I think it might be more interesting if we're just off center, so maybe this panel here. Yeah, I'm thinking this panel here. But what that does mean is I think this is one piece of geometry. I'm just going to check. It is. So I'm going to have to go into isolation mode. We'll keep both of those so I know where the fireplace is. And we want this panel piece here. So again, I'm going to have to use a slice plane. But what I do here with these slice planes is, this is for anyone that might not know that's using Macs. If you're using a slice plane and you only want to restrict the slice to a certain part of the geometry, you can sub-select like I've got here. Instead of selecting the entire object, I just select the bit that I want to actually cut, and then the slice plane won't cut below or above anything that's not highlighted in red. Because there's no point in us adding cuts up here where it's not necessary. We really only need to cut sort of like here. So let's throw the slice plane on. And we're going to cut it right on the edge. Just going to line it up over here. Just move back. Zoom right in. So we can get it really close to that edge. And let's do a slice. No deliveries due today, so no banging into my green screen by mistake like yesterday. I couldn't believe that. I forgot it was there. Can you believe that? I got up to get the parcel to go and answer the intercom, and I forgot there's this big green screen behind me and walked right into it. Slice it there. Let's rotate it. And again, we're going to go for this panel here. Smurfberry says you were just in the zone. I was in the zone. Well, actually, it scared bejesus out of me when the intercom went off. You guys could probably hear it over the stream. It's really loud. So, you know, I'm getting into what I'm doing and all of a sudden there's this buzzing, this really loud buzz. It scared me. Freaked me out. Oh, because I'd forgotten it was coming. I mean, they did send me an email in the morning saying it would be delivered, but I completely forgot once I started working on stream. And slice it there. Okay, so now we should have our little piece cut out, but I do have to actually place a box behind it. Looks like a shelf, a hidden shelf in there, so we're going to have to do that. And I'm going to see if I can reuse the same texture again. So instead of us going into Substance Painter to do the texturing for this little box inside here, I'm going to do it by hand in Max here because I want to reuse the texture if I possibly can. So now I can select that piece we've cut out. I'm going to detach it. We're going to call this hidden wall. Study hidden wall. Yeah. Keep it study at the beginning so we don't get confused when we bring it into Unreal. Okay, let's just make sure our pivot is in the middle of that object so it'll make it easy for us to move around. What are you doing? There we go. Oh man, I've got to update that. Got to update Max. There's a new version of Max out. If you're using Max 2021, there's a 0.1 update that Autodesk have released, but they haven't released it. Like if you log into your account on Autodesk, normally you download all your updates there, or you can, but they haven't released it to that yet. You can only download it through the built-in tool that is installed when you install Max, which I generally uninstall because I don't use it. They haven't released it normally yet, so I've got to wait. If they don't do it soon, I might have no choice but to reinstall that download manager that they install. I don't know why companies think that you need to install a download manager for updates when you can usually log into the website and download them that way, but anyway. So let's just move this piece out of the way. We're going to have to export that as a separate piece so I can turn it into a physics object and make it interactable. But we need something behind here now because now we've got a hole in the wall. So I can actually use this to create the box inside, which is what I'm going to do. So first things first is I'm going to duplicate this piece. And again, we're going to move it back into place, and I'm just going to get out of the front view here and look at it from the back. And this little hidden cupboard doesn't have to be very big, so we'll go in probably about that deep. So again, I'm going to duplicate this piece. We'll rotate it 90 degrees. Let's line it up. Make sure I'm not sticking through the front of the wall here. No, it looks good. Hellforge, it's good to see you, Hellforge. How are you? Good morning to you as well. Remember to save. Good point. Let's do that right now. We didn't risk the Boolean this morning when I made the cutout for the fireplace. We did it with a sliced plane instead, just to be on the safe side. Max. You gotta love Max. Now, I just got to make sure this is actually up against the side here. And I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I think we're good. So let's duplicate that piece for the other side. And I'm hitting the wrong button again. Let's move this piece back. So now we have this little hole, but I need to put a top and a bottom on it, so let's do that. Good stuff, Hellforge says, I'm doing alright, just a bit frustrated with the lack of progress on something. I severely underestimated the complexity of. I'm doing really well, thanks for asking. Hellforge, yes, no, I'm good. I was just saying to Smurfberry that that when the intercom went off yesterday, when the parcel was delivered, it scared the bejesus out of me. And then I ran into my green screen behind me because I forgot it was there. I forgot my green screen was there. Anyway, but I'm good. What are you frustrated with? What are you trying to do? What are you making? Tell us. I'm going to duplicate this piece, and I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to position it. Make sure I'm not going through to the front. No, looks all right. Let's make sure it's up at the right height though. And I could do a few things. I could do a slice plane, but I'm going to see if it's easier for me just to manipulate this with the verts. So select these vertices. Now what I am going to do though is I'm going to turn on an option here called Preserve UVs. If I scale this without turning that on, it's going to squish the UVs, but if I turn this on and we move our verts, just wondering why Max is misbehaving. There we go. You see that the vertices, the texture doesn't stretch at all. It keeps the texture intact. Well, the UVs actually, it's keeping the UVs intact. It's not squishing the UVs or stretching them. Okay, so it looks like this back piece needs to come in a little bit, I think. Or does it need to go over? Helford says, currently stuck on the material part on 5 weapons I've been working on for the past few months for the portfolio. So instead of banging my head against the wall with that, I decided to rework an old asset and make it into a game asset instead of a render one. Sounds good. And the new version is more complicated than I thought it would be. Okay. No, it's always a good way to work if you can reuse something you've already made. Why reinvent the wheel? That's what I say. Why reinvent the wheel? Okay, so it looks like this needs to probably come down. Oh, I wonder. No, it's not that. We just have to avoid any not seeing through here like this. So I'm trying to work out what's going on here. No, that's fine. I think the problem here is it needs to be a little bit wider. Now, because this is the back of the object, we don't have to worry about being really super tidy back here, so long as from the front it looks correct, because this is never going to be seen. But it does look like the top piece here needs to be a bit wider. So let's just pull it out. And this side, pull it out a bit as well. So that takes care of the top. Now this back piece here needs to be a bit wider as well. So let's just pull this one over. Again, I'm going just past the edge here because the back of the object is never going to be seen. And this one will pull over. And all we have to do now is duplicate the top piece for the bottom. Good. So now we have this little hidden shelf, although I need to just bring this top piece up a little bit. A little bit more. And it does mean we need to just extend the tops on these as well. And the back piece. Okay, now we should be good. No little holes poking through. No, everything looks all right. Good. Now I could put a shelf in here. I'm just trying to work out. We don't even know what is going to be in here yet as part of the game, part of the gameplay. So I'm just trying to decide if it needs a shelf or not. Probably not. Probably not. Hellforge says, that was my thinking as well. I did it once around 1.5 years ago when I barely knew what I was doing, so I figured I could make a lot better now that I've been doing it for a while longer. Yep. That's for sure. Practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the better you'll get. That's what I say to you guys. If you're just starting out doing 3D and you know, not as good as you want to be, just keep practicing, keep doing it, and you get better and better and better the more you do it. Funnily enough. Okay, so I'm going to attach all of this together now as part of that wall. So let's attach that piece, that piece, that piece, that piece, and that piece. The only other thing I need to do now is this piece we cut out, which is going to be the hidden door here in front of the paneling. Oh, did I make a little error there? It looks like I did. All right. Just not long enough, so I'm going to select these pieces and bring it down just a touch. Oh, really? Now we should be good. No little holes. Okay. Now this piece in the front here, though, at the moment all it is you can see it's just a plane. And because, yeah, I'm just deciding whether I'm going to have this animate sliding or animate opening. Either way, it can't be a plane. It needs to be like a solid piece of wood for the door. So let's fix that up. And again, I want to reuse the texture. I don't want to have to create a new texture for it. So I'm going to duplicate, cancel that. Duplicate this back here to about as thick as I want the door to be. We might pull it in a little bit more, so it's not quite so thick. And that should be good. Now, I think the easiest way for me to do this is probably going to be to, instead of trying to duplicate this plane, rotate it 90 degrees and make it small like we did for the box for the interior there. You know, for that piece we just, wrong key again, we just did in here. I think I might try and doing it a little bit differently for this piece. So I'm going to duplicate both of them just in case I make a mistake. That way I've got my original I can go back to. Let's attach this piece to this piece at the back. Now we can go into edge mode and we can bridge this. Hang on. That did not bridge quite correctly. I'm just trying to work out why. Let's undo that. Let's try going from the top first. Something weird going on with Max at the moment. Okay. Just not bridging quite right for some reason. Why are you not bridging correctly? Hey Android Lust, it's good to see you. My apologies, I got so caught up in what I was doing. How are you, buddy? A save, Hellforge says, good idea. I will do that before I do anything crazy. And Android Lust's got a little arrow pointing up saying, yes, do that. Yes, I will do that right now. Hellforge says, when isn't there something weird going on with Max? This is very true. Looks like an inverted normal. You could be correct, Android Lust, maybe. Smurfery says it's the devil come to wreck your polys. I know. This should be a very easy fix, a very easy bridge for Max to do, but let's just check our normals. Where is it? 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 Edit normals. That's the one I want. I have a feeling it might be because... Maybe not. Anyway, let's unify the normals. Where are we? Weird. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to collapse that. I'm going to select the piece at the back. In fact, I think what I might need to do is remove the piece from, just attach it temporarily. I'm just wondering if it needs to be rotated. So I'm going to just make sure my pivot is in the middle and rotate it 180 degrees. Now we can reattach them. Now let's try doing a bridge. And now it has bridged correctly. It was because the normals were facing in the wrong direction. So Android Lust was spot on. Actually, hang on, did I do something wrong? Wait. Yes, there we go. It helps if you hit yes, do it. Now let's do the same for the bottom. And let's do the sides. Did I remove that before? No, did it do it? No, I forgot. I deselected before I hit apply again. Bridge, apply, and let's do the other side. That one and that one. Okay, but now we need to fix the UVs up. The UVs for the texture map. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw an unwrap UVW down. And I'm going to select the top. And I'm also going to select the bottom so I can do both at the same time. open up our map. Let's find our texture. Oh, let me just redo that. And I'm going to go into Tools and Break, and now Mapping, Flatten Mapping. We can rotate these pieces around. Scale them back because they're too big. And choose somewhere on the texture that would be good. Probably this piece through here. Output says, good stuff Android. Lust says, it reminded me of the marvelous designer's inverted stitching. If the normals are reversed, probably the wrong term. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. The normals were flipped. And so Max was basically trying to join two edges on a, it was trying to join an edge here and an edge here when this edge was flipped around the wrong way, so it was trying to join it from the back side instead of the front side. Yeah. You were correct, that's what the problem was. So that's good. Now we just need to do the two sides, so this one and this one. Again, we're going to go to break them, and then we're going to flatten map them. Rotate them, rotate them, rotate them. I'm actually working my last nerve. Rotate them, there we go. And scale it down. Now I can overlay these on top of the other ones, that's not an issue. So these sides are now correct. Let's just turn off map themes because it's annoying. Alright, so we have the door section which will go cover up this hidden piece in the wall here. Again, if you don't want spoilers, you should not be watching the stream. But I'm not going to tell you what's going to be going in there, or I'm not going to tell you how you open it, what will set off that opening of that hidden panel above the fireplace. Alright, so we can now rename this Study Hidden Door. And I'm just going to export that. No, we're calling it Study Hidden Door. Android Lost says, Maya screams at you with black polygons if the normal is reversed. Max usually does too. Like normally you can tell if a poly is reversed. As I've said to you guys, if you highlight it, like see it's highlighted in light red. If the poly is reversed, we can't see it here, it'll be dark red. So instead of being a bright red, it'll be a dark red. Max does that too. I'm just going to move this sort of over here so I know it goes there. Actually, I probably shouldn't do that because I won't be able to find it. So that's going to be a hidden door that will either slide open to reveal the hidden bit behind it, or it'll be a door that'll open out normally, like, you know, like on a hinge. I'll decide that when the actual event, when we're setting the event up in game. But that does mean I can get rid of this one because we don't need that. And it does mean I need to re-export this fireplace piece now that we have our little cutout in there. So let's do that. Study Hidden Wall. Study Hidden Wall. study hidden door, study wall fireplace, small, study wall fireplace. That's the one we want to replace. Let me just rename this. Study wall fireplace. Okay, now I think we're done with the walls. Like I said, unless there's a window in this room that I'm forgetting about, I don't think there is. There may be. If there is, we'll have to come back and just create a couple of sections for above and below the window. Hellforge says, can I still listen to the stream if I don't want spoilers? You can. I'm going to do my best not to spoil anything. And even if like, a good example was what I just mentioned with this hidden section above the fireplace. If you're going to play the game, you know it's there, but you don't know how you're going to open it. So it's not really a spoiler. But it's more of a spoiler than somebody that didn't even see me make it. So I do my best not to spoil anything. You can still play the game and enjoy it if you watch the stream. I'm going to do my very best not to spoil anything. Most of the stuff I work on for the game on stream is just visual stuff, because it's much more interesting for anyone watching a stream to see visual things than, say, me working on blueprint scripting, which is basically me or the programmer, which is basically what happens to actually set up the events to actually as part of gameplay. So you're less likely to get spoilers watching me doing visual stuff than me doing blueprint scripting, where I'm actually setting the events up, which I won't be doing on stream because it's boring. No one wants to watch somebody working in blueprint script. It's boring. And thank you, Hellforge. There is a wish list there for the game if you want to wish list it on Steam right now, but it's not available yet, but you can wish list it. Android Last says, I will try to forget that spoiler. That's right, just forget about it. I mean, the game's not coming out for quite a while yet, so just forget about it. And you haven't been, I'm not going to be telling you how you set it off anyway, so how you actually access it. Hellforge says, I wonder if it can be opened with brute force and a sledgehammer. No, it can't. There will be no sledgehammers in the game. So you're going to have to work it out to open it up, and you're going to have to open it up to actually progress in the game, because something will be in there that will be required, as is usually the case with games when you're playing them. And okay, so yeah, I've made that low because we're going to have a deer's head up here, and we want it low enough so that when the player is walking up to the fireplace, it's not difficult for them to actually reach. They'll be standing, here, and it'll be easy for them to pick up whatever's hidden in there. So, fireplace, study walls done. What's left? The floor. Once we've done the floor, then we can pretty much say I think all of the assets for the study are done. There was something I thought of, I think yesterday though, that we need a table in the study, because we have things like the gramophone, and there's an old time radio and things like that as well. And I haven't made a table for the study. Now, we could reuse a table we've got in other parts of the building. I'm just trying to visually think if there's anything in another room that could be reused. Maybe. I'll tackle that in a minute. I'm not really sure yet about that. But we do have to do the floor. So let's tackle the floor. Let's do a save. Let me have a drink of coffee. Hellforge says, I'm sure there's someone who gets super jazzed by seeing blueprint. I'm sure there are. Look, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure there are. Android Lust says programming is boring, in my opinion, and everyone else's opinion. Yeah, look, I enjoy programming as well. You guys know when I went to uni, part of my study was not just design, but also programming. It was like a split degree. So programming and design, and I enjoy programming. I like the satisfaction you get when you solve a problem in programming. It's the same. You get satisfied when you solve a problem in art as well, but it's different to programming. But I wouldn't want to do it all day, every day as part of my only job. That would drive me up the wall. No, I like the art part more. Anyway, we need to UV map this before we can texture it up in Substance Painter. Now this floor piece is going to follow all the other floor pieces in the building, in that we have a central section here for the floor. Then we have like brass edging that runs around the outside of the floor, and then at the very edge here we have a different texture for the outer edge of the floor. That's every piece of flooring in the building follows this design, and we're going to keep that design going in all of the rooms. We're just going to change the textures on them all. So we need to UV map it first though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to what am I going to do? I'm going to attach everything together. So the inner to the outer to the outer. Now I knew it was going to do that, which is why I hesitated for a minute. I'm going to select this and we're going to assign this a different material so that when I bring it into Unreal, I can make it brass, because it's going to be a brass border. I'm just looking through here because the new version of Max have moved everything around on me. Where's the thing I want? PBR, physical. Why you move everything, Autodesk? Why? Why you do this? Textures utility. Oh no, volume utility surface. No, that's not what I want. That's alright, we can use this one. You want to make a copy? Let me undo that. We can use this one. In fact, we can use a physical material. They want you to use a physical material now because Max 2021 defaults to Arnold. It used to default to using the scanline renderer. Now it defaults to using Arnold. And as part of Arnold, they want you to use a physical material. Now, because I'm not actually texturing this up in Max, I only need it so that when I bring it into Unreal, it has different texture maps assigned so I can assign other materials. I generally just still use the standard material, and it is here. I just can't find it. Yeah, it's here somewhere. It is here somewhere. But they've moved it. I'm just reading this message here. Michelle not spotted. It's just complaining, as it usually does. So yeah, there is a standard material. They left it there. They just moved it. And Hellforge is asking, Phil, are you doing lighting as well for the game? Am I doing lighting as well? Yes, I am. You're talking about in Unreal itself, Hellforge? If that's the case, then yes, I am. I've created a custom LUT, and I am doing the lighting inside the game. Yep. So part of my job, I am. Part of my job with the studio is I'm like a creative director as well as a technical artist for the project. So my job is to design the rooms, and then if any of the programmers or the artists or anything like that have a problem, then I have to fix the problem as a technical artist. But as part of my job as the creative director, I design the look of the room, and I design the lighting, and I set the lighting up. So yeah, I'm doing the lighting. Long story short, I am doing the lighting, yes. So I'm just going to change the color of this to make it different. So maybe back to a blue. And I'm going to just briefly detach that again so that I can assign it its own material. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is. You guys, maybe you don't know Hellforge because you're newer to my channel, but I remember to say, I'll do that in a minute. I used to work in games development, so I've worked on games like Mad Max and Looney Tunes for Warner Brothers. Then I went to work in film, and I worked on movies and things like Jumper and all that sort of those sort of movies for Fox. And then I went to ArchViz, and I'd forgotten how fun it was working for a game studio because it was so long ago that I worked in the game studio. So now I still work in ArchViz, and I also work in the game studio. And it's fun. I enjoy it. And it is cool. I'd forgotten how much fun it was. All right, so now I can reattach that to the rest of the floor. Now the rest of the floor, even though we're going to be using two separate textures here, we're going to do that in Substance Painter. So I'm going to use material IDs, material colors. So we can just reattach the brass edging back to the floor. No, actually, we're not going to do that because when I take it into Substance Painter, I don't need the brass edging there. But before we export it to bring it back into Unreal, I'll attach the brass edge. So, Kamal's Workshop. It's good to see you, Kamal. How are you? How have you been? How are you holding up? But it's good to see you, Kamal. Android Lost says to Hellforge, haven't you seen Phil work in UE4, right? He might not have, not yet. No, you'll see me next week, Hellforge. I'll be jumping into Unreal. But yep, no, all the lighting you see in the screenshots on the Steam store page, all of the design, that's my design, my lighting. Because I'm in charge of that sort of thing as the creative director. Paz, it's good to see you, Paz. Hi to you as well. I hope you guys are well, and it's good to see you, like I said, Kamal. It's been a while. I hope you're good. It's good to see you too, Paz. Android Lost says, hey to Kamal and Paz. All right, so we need to do some texture mapping here now. Wow, what is going on with Max? I'm just trying to work out why my zoom key is not working in my main viewport here. Oh, it's because it's set a camera up. Damn it. Why you do this? There we go. I don't want a camera. I don't need a camera, Max. Don't do that. I must have hit the wrong key. Kamal says, good. That's good to hear. It's good to see you again. It's good to see you too. I hope you're well. I hope you're holding up well in this new world that we're living in with the human malware. We don't say the C word, the corona word, because my videos go to YouTube and YouTube don't like it. We call it the human malware. So now we can, I'm going to keep, like I said, the brass border will keep separate. Hang on, I have to UV map it first. I'm not going to take the border into Substance Painter. We're only going to take the main floor into Substance Painter. There's probably no need for me to send this to Ryzen to UV map it because it's a plane. So I'm just going to do Max's planar reflection here. Planar UV mapping, I should say. For that, and this one as well. It's just going to be a planar UV. All right. So we're UV mapped. We're good to go. Let's call the study floor good. Let's export this so we can bring it into Substance Painter. And we're going to call it study floor. Hellforge says, lighting is one of the major areas I'm struggling with. I've seen hundreds of modeling tutorials, but barely any of them touch on lighting. Well, you will see me setting it up, and I'll be setting the lighting up as well for this room, because the room is completely pitch black at the moment in the game. There is nothing in there. No lights, no furniture, there's nothing. It's an empty room. So you'll see me set it all up. And if you can't wait till next week, then you can jump on my YouTube channel or my video section on Twitch, because if you look at if you look at this one, I actually don't think I've sort of titled them individually as to what they are, but part of the game development stuff, my phone's going off, part of the game development stuff on my Twitch and YouTube channel is when I've been working on the game, and you see me setting lighting up when I created the master bedroom, but you'll see it next week anyway, because I'll be doing lighting next week in Unreal. You're right, and it's really important. A lot of people don't appreciate just how important lighting is in making something look really cool. I've mentioned before that you can make a really rubbish looking model with really rubbish texturing look amazing with the right lighting. It's all in the lighting. The lighting is the most important thing in any sort of render, whether it's a game, real-time games, or just or normal rendering using V-Ray or Arnold or whatever. Lighting. It's all about the lighting. Really important. Thank you, Android Lust. Android Lust is saying the lighting is amazing. You'll see it. Yes, you will see it. Although I've got to be careful because the studio guys have told me that you must not leave the room you're working in while you're working on it. But I have in the past. What are they going to do? Sack me? No, they can't sack me. Sweet. Hellforge says, Paz says to Hellforge, I'm late to say hello. Sorry. That's okay. Android Lust says, also according to the game's trailer on Steam, a lot more work has been done. What do you mean, Android Lust? According to the game's trailer on Steam, I haven't released anything new. The game studio that I'm with, we haven't released anything new, but it's changed from what you see in the trailer. Android Lust says I'm still struggling with lighting. Well, while I'm working, if you've got any questions while I'm working next week in Unreal when I'm setting things up, pop into chat and ask me. Paz says to Hellforge, I refill my beer, or reload, I can say. Hellforge says, not to mention that lighting can completely change the feel of a render or an environment piece just by changing the color values. Very true. I'm just going to check my phone because it's going to be work. It's going to be the Archviz Studio probably. I'll be 2 seconds. Okay, sorry about that, guys. It was work, as usual. Yeah, so you're right, though. Lighting is the most important thing, really, to set a mood for anything. And you can make a really rubbish model or texture look amazing with the right lighting. Android Lost says, the trailer on Steam is old compared to the work you've done. Yeah, it is. When we released the trailer for the game, when we first set up the Steam store page at the very beginning of this year, I used the cinematic I'd created previously, and the environment has changed quite a bit from what you see in the trailer. Quite a bit, actually. There's a lot has changed in the game. So if you like the trailer, and the trailer is a cinematic trailer, it's not a gameplay trailer, but it's using cameras set up inside of the game level. So basically what you see in the cinematic trailer is what is in the game, but it's changed now because the guys and I have added a lot more to the actual game than what you see in the trailer. The interior has changed. The basic layout is still the same, but we've added a lot more to it. So you are right. Yes. Long story short, Android Dust, yes, it has changed quite a bit from what you see in the trailer. We will be releasing a gameplay trailer prior to the game being released, so that you guys can get a better idea of exactly what gameplay is like and what some of the new areas look like. So, but that's still down the track at this stage. We've still got a lot more stuff to do. There's so much work goes into making a game. I don't know if you guys have ever made one before, but man, there's a lot of work. Which I knew because I've worked in games before, but boy, is there so much work. Android Lust says, that's what I meant. Yep. Hellforge says, keeping the beer refilled is more important than saying hello on time. That's exactly right. Get your priorities right. Smurfery says, games are hard. They are hard. Isutha, it's good to see you, Isutha. How are you? Long time no see. Yes, I hope you're holding up well as well in this new world we're living in with the human malware. But it's good to see you, Isutha. I hope you're doing good. Isutha says, been busy with Estonian National Library laser scan. Ooh, nice. Laser scans. Nice. We love the photogrammetry here and the laser scanning, LiDAR and all that's all part of photogrammetry, so that's very cool. Very cool. Actually, I just updated my camera that I'm using for photogrammetry recently. Isutha says, imagine building facade has 870 million points. Yep. Sweet. You use Leica RTC 360. Yeah, Leica. I actually, it's interesting you mentioned Leica because I've just upgraded to a Leica camera as well. It's a sweet camera. Sweet camera. So I think I'm running at 64 megapixels at the moment. And I haven't even used it. Can you believe that? Because I've just had so much other stuff to do that I haven't actually had a chance to use the new camera yet. Hellforge says, I tried imaging in and my GPU told me to stop or it blue screen the computer. I see this says, but mine is not camera, but actual LiDAR scanner. Oh, okay. I have a Leica camera. I only bought it a few months ago, actually. Yep. They're sweet cameras. Some people say that it was either going to be a Leica or a I can't remember the name of the other camera. No, my mind's blank. It was between two, and I decided on the Leica. Anyway, so yeah, I haven't even used it yet. I'm looking forward to doing some photogrammetry using the new camera. All right, so we've UV mapped that. I'm going to keep the gold border, the brass border separate. We don't need to bring that into Substance Painter. We only have to texture the floor section. So we've exported it. Let's jump into Substance Painter. Actually, just before we do that, let's just do a quick save. Because I don't trust Max to not crash in the background even when I'm not doing anything. Let's create a new project in Substance Painter. Let's make sure we're in the right folder. And we're looking for study floor. Oh, I did forget something though. I need to vertex color. It's simple. It's only 2, so. Helpwood says, my English is on point some days and others it's like an overgrown field of cabbages. Mine too. We all talk real good. I get the gist of what you guys mean. I know that when you're typing in chat, sometimes you hit the wrong key and it comes out all garbled. I get that. And I can generally make out what you're trying to say. Generally. Let's make the interior blue and let's make the exterior here just something different. Let's make it a red. Now we can re-export it. There's the study floor. And we can edit our project and reload that floor model. What? No, that's the wrong one. That's the one. There we go. Let's bake out our maps. Using low poly as the high. Android Lust says that's similar to my typing Hellforge. But so Isutha, your Leica is an actual LiDAR scanner. That's pretty cool. It's very cool. Me wanty. Edo says, Edo, it's good to see you, buddy. How are ya? And don't give up on your character, Edo. I see you in the gallery on the Discord server. You said you want to start a new project. Don't do that. Well, take a break if it's frustrating you, though. But don't give up on her. She's looking cool. All right, let's rename the default material here to Study Floor. And let's find some materials. Now, I did actually create a material that I plan to put on in the study ahead of time. I planned it out. What's up, guys? Yeah, I planned it out ahead of time. I did actually make a material in Alchemist that we can bring in for the study floor, at least for the base material for the actual floorboards. Edo says, man, realistic eyelids are so hard, Phil. Again, I don't do character work, but yeah, I would agree. just based on the character stuff I had to play around with a few weeks ago for one of the artists in the game studio. I had to actually bring in the animations and make sure that the character shaders, the shaders for the character in UE4 were correct and all that sort of stuff. I didn't actually model the character, but yeah, I get it. I've worked with enough character artists, I know how hard it can be. Hellforge says the sky, unless you're in Australia. What are we talking about here? What are you saying? What? Hellforge? What's this? Alright, let's find this material I created in Substance Alchemist. It is here. I know it's here. In fact, I should just be able to filter by the word my, and it should show up here for me. It's not the wooden wall. It's not the panel. Where did I put it? Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I don't think I actually put my in front of it, so I am going to have to go through them all. Hellforge says, and the sky is usually up. I was trying to be as smart as okay. Yes, the sky is usually up. Where is this material I made? Because I made it a while ago in preparation for this day, and you know I cannot remember what I called it. So because I wanted the floor to have a bit of reflection, because it's going. I want, because we've got a fireplace. We're going to have a fire going. I want that reflection of the light from the fireplace and from the fire in the floor. So I specifically made a material that still looked old and worn, but had enough reflection to actually reflect the fire a little bit. If I can find it. Study floor. There we go. So let's drag that on here. So you see, I did add a dirt layer to it, so it does look like it's old and, you know, worn, but it does still have a little bit of reflection, so that we can pick up on the fire in the fireplace. You can sort of see that when I angle it up toward the sky. So now I just have to make sure my scaling is correct. Edo says it also smells like updog. Smurfberry says not many people know, but dirt tastes like dirt. Oh man. So how much dirt have you tasted? Does dirt taste different depending on which area you sample it from? Like, is dirt from the park taste different from dirt from the sidewalk? I'm curious. Don't go eating dirt, guys. That's bad. It's a good way to get sick. I know you don't really eat dirt, but just in case there are young'uns watching, don't eat dirt. Do not eat dirt. You can pick up all sorts of nasty things in dirt. I'm just bringing the scale up a little bit on this so that the paneling is a little bit smaller. Again, I've got to try and sort of visualize in my head how big this will be in the room. Yeah, maybe instead of 2.4, let's take it to 2. Take it to 2. There we go. 2 should probably be okay, I think. But we are going to remove this blank layer at the bottom, and I'm going to mask this with color selection just to the center. Oh man, it's because when we did our bake out, it defaults to vertex color, to material color. We want it to be vertex color, so let's just bake those out again. Never used to do that. It's really annoying. They changed it. With the new update, Adobe have changed it. Let's pick a colour. There we go. Edo says minerals are good for health. Healthboard says, to be fair, dirt is probably still healthier than McDonald's. I don't mind McDonald's occasionally. I don't eat it very often though. Don't eat dirt. Don't do it. Don't eat dirt. You're not meant to eat dirt. And you can get all different sorts of things living in dirt that are really bad for your body. So don't eat dirt. It just tastes bad. Don't eat it. Don't do it. Edo says, the reason I want to start a different project is because I know if I do it again, it'll be better than what I'm currently making. So you want to redo the same model? Is that what you're saying? Or you want to redo a new model, a new project? I just don't think you should give up on her because you put a lot of work into putting together what you've done so far. But it's up to you, dude. If you're not feeling it, you don't want to do it. Don't do it. You're not doing it for a client, so you do what makes you happy. But I don't like seeing people giving up on a project they've tried unless they're really, really having a problem with it and they can't do it. Then that's fine. Or they don't want to do it. Then that's fine. Shouldn't be forcing yourself to do anything you don't want to do. It's meant to be fun. That's what I'm trying to say. Doing 3D stuff is meant to be fun. And unless you're doing it for a specific client where they're paying you, then if it's not fun, don't do it. Don't stop the project. Put it on hold even for a while. And come back to it maybe at a later date. Maybe you'll get inspiration. Android Lost says, living things in dirt, you mean no, they were like, look, I can't give you an example, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's like bacteria and things in dirt that are bad for you. They can be. There can be certain bacteria in dirt that if you ingest them, they'll make you ill or they could kill you. So don't eat dirt, all right? Just don't eat dirt. Why are we having a conversation about eating? You don't eat dirt, all right? It's all your fault, Smurfberry Barbecue. Paz says, Phil, you see the latest demo of Unreal using vector displacement? No, that's crazy detail rocks. I think it's a new approach to add details. Not new, but we'll see it in the future. No, I did not see. When did they release that? Did Epic Games release that, Paz? Because I saw the Unreal Engine 5 that they released, that demo for UE4, which is been coming out next year. That was sweet, super sweet. So unlimited polygons, you can go nuts with your polys now if you really want to. Well, you can next year anyway with UE5. Not that we recommend you do that. But I haven't seen the displacement thing. If it's something new, I'll check it out. Edo says, want to make a realistic Ahsoka Tano? I don't know what that is. Android Lost says to Edo, if you give up on it, you can always come back to it. That's true. Smurfberry. Oh, what's with the sad face, Smurfberry? Healthboard says, unless you're a vegetable, dirt isn't optimal for your health. That is exactly right. Don't eat dirt, all right? Just don't do it. Don't eat dirt. Don't eat dirt. Young people, if you're watching, do not eat dirt. Okay. Now I do want to throw a dirt layer on top of this. Now, the texture itself does have I did when I made it in Alchemist. If I get in the right angle here, you can see there is a dirt layer on it. A general dirt layer. So you can sort of see it in the reflection over here. But I want to add another layer on top of that again. So let's find a material. Let's go with Edo says the Ahsoka Tano is a Star Wars car. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I should know, shouldn't I? I have watched all the Star Wars movies, but it doesn't bring to mind the character name. Well, that'd be cool, doing a Star Wars character. And again, you guys, I'm assuming when you're making your characters, you're doing it for your portfolio, which is fine. You've just got to be careful when you start making stuff that's proprietary from a company like Star Wars characters. But you only got to worry about that if you want to sell it, because you can't sell it because it's not your copyright. But if you're doing it for your portfolio, it's fine. They allow that sort of stuff. Unless they're really mean. Generally, companies will allow you to put that sort of thing in your portfolio. But yeah, just don't sell anything like that online. You'll get sued. They take their copyright very seriously. Disney. Very seriously. Hellforge says, I think this is the most adamant I've ever heard you be, Phil, and it's about dirt of all things. That's right. Well, I want to make sure you guys don't get sick and don't eat dirt. Not that you would. But again, my videos go to YouTube, and I don't know the age of the people that watch my videos on YouTube. I market my channel as family friendly, so because I don't swear or anything like that. We keep it clean, and so I don't know the age of the people watching. And I don't want some young'un thinking, oh, I want to go out and try some dirt now. They've been talking about dirt, eating dirt. Don't eat dirt. Let's look at. Let's throw the mud down. I usually either use the mud or the dirt. So what I do with this is I turn the hide information off, and I can turn the normal information off. I just want the color information. I can turn the normal on. No, we'll keep the normal off. We just want the color. Paz says, I don't want to pollute your stream watching demos when you have a chance to watch it off stream. No, I don't mind watching it, Paz. Is it on Epic Games? I'm curious. I mean, aren't you guys curious about what Epic Games are doing? I know I am. Let's have a look. So it's displacement, did you say? UE4 character lighting. It's Unreal. Is it the Unreal 5 demo you're talking about? Is it the one where the girl is walking through the cave? Is that the one you mean? If that's the one you mean, we showed that on stream a couple of weeks ago. Yep. No, we did. We saw that. It is. It looks amazing. Amazing. Yeah, we watched it. I watched it live on stream with you guys a few weeks ago. We were pointing out. I was being nitpicking and pointing out little things that looked a bit weird or weren't working properly and stuff, but I was just nitpicking. It does. It looks amazing. They did a really good job. And they used photogrammetry for that. For the cave interior, that was all done using Quixel scans, mega scans. So all of the rocks and stuff were actually photogrammetry stuff that Epic used. Yeah. I mean, they probably are doing a displacement, maybe displacement on top of it as well, but the actual rocks that they used in the cave were part of Quixel Mega Scans, which you can download for free if you're making a game in UE4. Because Epic Games purchased Quixel, and they allow people making games in UE4 to use the assets for free instead of paying for them, which is very cool. So yeah, the guys at Epic used Quixel Mega Scans for it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the blending mode. So we're going to start playing with the blending mode a bit. And again, I'm just going to mask with color selection just to that interior piece so we don't get confused. So I'm just going through the blending modes to see if I can find one that I like. This one might work for what we want. So we have our original texture, which does have a dirt layer on it, and now I've just thrown this other one over the top of it. You're right, it's Megascan Paz says, yep. And particles for the small rocks. Yeah, I think you're right. And there's the Discord server link. Hellforges has popped in. Thanks. If you do want to join the Phil Does 3D Discord, click the link that Hellforges has popped in Twitch chat. And if you do want to wishlist the game that you see me working on now, click the link that is in the chat. Thank you, Hellforge. Actually, I'm just going to keep playing with my blending modes here a little bit before I settle on one. Yeah, we might go with this one. This one's not really doing what I want it to do. I'll just keep going through just in case there's something better. This one might be better. Edo says to Lust, make a game with me. Andrew Lust. Andrew Lust says a fighting game. Edo says no, I'm thinking just a small RPG world like a demo. Well, I encourage you guys to use Unreal and make a game. Or Unity. Unity is just as good. I'm not saying you have to use Unreal. We don't play favourites with anything here. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a paint layer. And what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm going to go into my brushes. Let's find a, let's go with let's try the dirt one. Now what I'm basically doing is removing all the dirt from the middle on that second layer we just added. So basically I just want to leave the dirt around the edges of the floor. Sort of like the dirt is built up a bit more on around the edge of the floor than the middle of the floor. We don't want to go too nuts with the dirt. We're just using it to add a bit of variation in the colour of the floor. And less through the middle. And now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to just bring back on the mixing a little bit on this layer. Why you do this? Edo says, I personally like Unity. It's what I built my first game in, but UE4 is way better. Yeah, I haven't used Unity, but I hear good things about Unity. I mean, you know. I'm not saying you have to use UE4, but I like UE4 personally because I really like the artist tools that Epic Games give you in UE4. We spoke about this yesterday. They have some of the best artist tools I've used. Andrew Dust says, I've never given Unity a try, but I assume it's maybe somewhat similar to UE4. I assume it is too. I personally haven't tried it either, but totally agree. Paz says, yeah, I personally haven't tried Unity either, but I'm assuming it's the same as, pretty much the same as Unreal. I'm getting a blending mode is not really changing for me. I'm just trying to work out why. Okay, let's just change this. I just want to make sure there's nothing funny going on. No, there's nothing funny going on. Alright. We might actually go with a divide instead. Again, just so I can get some dirt happening in the corners of the floor. because this room's been locked up for a while, so there's it hasn't been cleaned or anything. Edo says, easy to code in Unity. I find myself needing tutorials for UE4. There's lots of tutorials for UE4 though. If you do get stuck with something, somebody has made a video about it on YouTube, or if not a video on YouTube, if you go to the forum, somebody has actually asked a question. 9 times out of 10 you'll find the answer. And if not, you ask the question in the forum, and usually people are pretty good. They'll respond to you. They'll help you out. But I haven't coded in Unity though, so it might be easier. Edo says, but I can write my own scripts in Unity pretty easy. Well, yeah, you use it's the same with 3D software. I say to you guys, you use what you can afford, number one, and what you like. So if you prefer the interface or something of one piece of software, you use that. There is no it really annoys me when people say you have to use this 3D software, otherwise you're not using 3D properly, or, you know, the 3D fanboys that say Autodesk are going to kill Maya or Autodesk are going to kill Max, or unless you're using Cinema 4D, you're not doing it right. I mean, all of that's just rubbish. You use what you like. You're the one using it. They're all as good as each other, all of them. Blender is completely free. Just because it's free doesn't mean it's not good. It's just as good as Max and just as good as Maya. I mean, it might do things in a different way, or it might take a bit longer to get the same result in Blender than doing it in Max or Maya, but you'll get there in the end. It's a piece of 3D software. They all work the same way. And Blender is free. You don't pay a cent for it. So. And the same thing with game engines. You use what you're comfortable using, whether it's Unity or UE4 or Lumberyard if it's an Amazon, like Amazon's Lumberyard, or the CryEngine or whatever. Use what you feel comfortable using, what you like to use. They all pretty much do the same thing in the end. Game engines are a bit different though. Some game engines are better than others. They handle things better than others. But 3D software doesn't. Hellforge says, use what you like and what you can afford. Yep, that's my motto. Use what you like and what you can afford. Well said. Paz says, game engine is really not the same for me. Yeah, game engines are a bit different. Game engines can be, there are some that are better than others. Like, I would not recommend you guys use Lumberyard. I've not heard good things about it. I personally haven't used it, but I know people that have, and it's more difficult to use than, say, Unity or Unreal. I don't know if it's as feature-rich as Unity or Unreal. So there are better game engines, some that are better than others, for sure. And I haven't used CryEngine either, but I've heard that CryEngine can be quite difficult to use. Andrew Lust says, oh God, Gamebryo is pretty solid, because he knows how much I detested Gamebryo. I was forced to work on it for a game years ago, and man, it was a dog. The company don't exist anymore, so you can't use Gamebryo anymore. I mean, Bethesda use Gamebryo for Skyrim and for Fallout. They're all based on Gamebryo. So that's the only studio I'm aware of that still uses that piece of crap. They call it their own thing now. I can't remember what Bethesda call their game engine, but it's based on Gamebryo. So I don't care how much work they've done to the base engine. The base engine is still Gamebryo, and it's a piece of crap. I'm sorry, but it really is a piece of crap. So don't use Gamebryo. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I had such nightmares when I worked with that engine. You have no idea. No idea. It was just terrible. Really bad. Really bad. Oh man. Edo says, Blender sculpting can't touch ZBrush? No, well, nothing can touch ZBrush for sculpting though. At least in my opinion. It always looks like student work, but maybe it's just the artist not pushing it as far as it. No, ZBrush is the best sculpting software available still. I mean, you know how much I detest the interface of ZBrush, but the program is very good and it's the best at what it does. It really is. Paz says, look at you now. You know what I'm talking about. Android Lust says, I heard ZBrush handles high poly better than Blender, but I haven't tested very high poly in Blender. If I'm doing any sculpting work on a mesh, I do not use Max. I use ZBrush because it's the best at what it does. As much as I love Max, Max is my baby and I love it. I wouldn't use Max to do sculpting. I wouldn't use any 3D software apart from ZBrush probably, depending on how complex the sculpting needs to be. As says, just kidding. Helpwatch says, save. Very good. Yes, thank you for that. We have not saved this project since we started working on it. Let's do that. Study. Chosen study walls. It's in the walls folder. I'm going to put it. Study floor. How much do you want to make a bet? Because I put the floor in the walls folder. In 4 weeks' time, when I'm thinking, oh, I want to make a change to this, where on earth did I save that floor file to? It'll be in the walls folder. I really should put it in the same folder called floor, but anyway. Let's find a texture for the outside edge here now. So let's go back to our materials. And I have no idea what I want to put along the outside edge. In the other parts of the building, I have plain deep green tile, which is very deco-y. In the bedroom, I have a pattern tile. In the bathroom, I have a pattern tile. We can either go with a pattern or a plain. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Ito says, I just updated my ZBrush user interface 2 days ago. Didn't ZBrush just release an update for the program? 2020.4 update, I think it is. I haven't installed it yet because I don't use ZBrush enough to actually bother with installing the update yet. If I jump back into ZBrush, I might install the update. But I very rarely use ZBrush. Only when I have to. Only when I'm forced to. And I'm just looking for a pattern we can put along the outside of this tile. I think I did create a couple of tile materials in Alchemist, so let's have a look, which we didn't end up using. I created them for other things and we didn't end up using them. Like we've got a few here. This is the one I think I used for the bedroom, so we don't want to reuse that. That's right, I created a few because we were doing the fireplace, that's right, that's why I created them. There's a few here as well. Let's just have a look at this blue tile. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these both in their own group. And again, I'm going to mask with color selection just to the middle. And let's throw this tile down. We can throw a few down, see what works, what doesn't. But again, we're going to mask this just to the outer edge so that we don't get confused with everything else going on. And let's play with the scaling. Yeah, I really don't like that blue. Let's see if we can't find something better. I think plain tile is probably going to be better. Helpwood says I'd wager a cuppa on it. Ito says I rarely update my ZBrush. Sometimes they come with nasty bugs. That's true. And I have 2020 now, so I also have Old Faithful 2018. I think I'm still running 2019. I don't think, even though I've access to 2020, I don't think I've installed it. ZBrush 2020. I think I'm still running ZBrush 2019. I'd have to check. But again, I don't use it enough to really worry about updating it that often. So long as it does what I need it to do when I need it to do it, I'm happy. Unlike Max, I keep Max updated pretty regularly, and Substance I always update, Mari I update, everything I use a lot. I make sure I keep updated, but I don't use ZBrush enough to really worry about it too much. Okay. There must be a tile here that's cool. Yeah, and I think something plain will be better than a pattern like this. I think a pattern is just going to start to make things too busy. Hellforge says, just out of curiosity, how often are you using Substance Designer for your ArchViz stuff? If you use it, I don't use it at all. Look, Substance Designer is a really cool program, really useful, but I don't use it. It's a very complicated program as well. So no, I don't use it. I played with it. I have played around with it. So anything, I always like to take things out for a test drive when they're new, but I don't use it. No, I use Alchemist if I want to mix some materials for Substance Painter, or I use Mari, which I do by hand. I do texture painting by hand. None of this materials that you assign stuff like you get in Painter. And if I do need a unique sort of looking material, then I'll use Alchemist, because I really just need to do some mixing. I don't need to create a completely new material, which is what you use Director for. So Director is a good program. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's difficult to use, and I don't tend to use it. But I do love Painter. Painter can be very useful, particularly for game assets. I tend to use Mari if I'm doing more film type stuff, but Painter is very good for gaming stuff. I'm not saying that it's not good for other stuff as well. I'm just saying I tend to use Substance Painter when I'm doing game models, and I tend to use Mari by the Foundry when I'm doing film models. So. Edo says, yeah, I'm swapping to Mari for my characters. Yeah, Mari's a great program. I love it. You can use huge texture sizes in Mari. There's none of this limit of 4 or 8K like you get in Substance Painter. You can go as big as the amount of memory you have in your computer. There is no restriction in Mari, which is why it's used for film, because you need really mega, super high resolution texturing for film. Paz says, personally, I use the 2 versions of Max and Mudbox, 2014 and 2018 at the same time. It's mostly a question of scripts and plugins. Yeah, look, Mudbox is good too. Autodesk just don't tend to update Mudbox as much as they used to anymore. I think they initially tried to compete with ZBrush, and then realized everybody still loved ZBrush, so they sort of gave up Autodesk on updating Mudbox very much. They do update it, like the new version Mudbox 2021, I think, or 2020, I can't remember which. So there is a new version of Mudbox, but they just don't add many new features to it, that's all. Hellforge says, alright, I figured I should ask. Designer is a program I'm really interested in learning, as it's similar to how Blender does procedural shaders, which is what I did for the longest time before I got Substance Painter. Yeah, look, I'm not saying don't use Designer. Designer is a great program as well, but I don't use it. I find it's difficult to use, and it's confusing at times. And maybe it's changed, because the last time I played with Substance Designer was probably about 4 years ago. So I'm sure that they've updated it, and maybe they've changed some things. But when I used it, I found it confusing and difficult. And this is coming from somebody who's had a lot of experience using a lot of different software, and picks things. I can pick software up pretty quickly. That's one of the reasons why they make me a technical artist, because I can learn new stuff pretty quickly. But even I had a problem with Designer when I used it. It was a bit of a nightmare to use. But it may have changed, because it was a long time ago that I played with it, and it is a good program. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying when I used it, it was difficult to use. But if you're used to that sort of workflow anyway, then you'll probably find it much easier. Hellforge. Smurberry says, as much as they used to, I can never. I don't know what we're referring to here. I must find a tile for this outer edge. Come on, where is this tile? I want a plain tile. I just want just a nice, simple, plain tile. I may even go with what we used for the rest of another part of the building. I have a plain green tile, not this horrid green thing here. It's a dark green. That might look cool. No, I was going to say we could go for something like this, but I did use this in other parts of the building, so I don't think that's really going to be appropriate. I'm just going to remove that blue tile there. I don't like it. We have this tile. This is the one that I actually used when we created the Temple of the Winds. If you remember this was not part of the game modeling. This was part of the stuff that I did in Eon View before we started this project. I created a 3D model called the Temple of the Winds, which we textured up in. We did some texturing in Substance Painter. I think some texturing might have been done in Mari. I can't remember. And we rendered it in Eon View. Did the environment, the 3D environment in View. We used this tile for the pond, which is in the middle underneath of the rotunda. And I am going to be bringing that rotunda, that Temple of the Winds, into the game. So it will be a location you can visit in the game. So we could probably reuse this tile. Let's see what it looks like around the outer edge. So let's just mask it again to the outside edge and change our scaling. And it's a better blend of the green and the browns than anything, and because it's a plain tile, it doesn't have a pattern. It doesn't make the floor look quite so busy. It just blends better. It looks better than a pattern tile, and the green and the brown complement each other quite well. And that's all well and good, but we want to make this tile a bit dirty as well, because we can't have a floor that's completely filthy and a tiled edge that's completely clean, because that just does not look right. So let's fix that up. Let me catch up with the chat. Edo says, I mainly use Substance Designer and Paint for game assets. At my old studio, which was film-based, we use Mari. Yeah, we're the same. Like that's every time when I worked in film, it was Mari. We used Mari. With the game studio, we're using Substance Painter, obviously, because that's what you see me using here. With the ArchViz studio, though, we don't tend to use substances. We use either Mari if we need to paint something unique, or we have a library of stuff that we can use in V-Ray, materials that were created for V-Ray. Because the ArchViz studio, we use V-Ray to do all of our rendering. So, although they are considering switching to UE4 because UE4 has gotten so much better now. They are thinking about it, but I don't have say in all that sort of thing. The directors decide that sort of stuff. It's above my pay grade at the ArchViz studio. Well, I'm not a director, so I have no say in it. That's what I'm trying to say. Edo says, but Substance Designer is God amongst programs. Yeah, look, I love Designer. Designer's a great program, particularly if you're doing gaming assets. Not just games, but mainly games. It's very good for. Paz says to Hellforge, if you love spaghetti shader. Hellforge says, those are the best kind of shaders. Just slap some meatballs and ketchup on it and call it dinner. Android Lust says, last time I used Mudbox, there wasn't anything equivalent to ZBrush's Dynamesh. That was kind of a deal breaker, but besides that, Mudbox wasn't bad. You know, Mudbox is not bad. And it's cheap. Like, I think that it only costs like $5 a month to rent it or something. I can't remember. It's really cheap. Autodesk don't charge very much for it. So, you know, if you're short on money and you can't afford to buy ZBrush, because ZBrush is like $700, I think, or more, you can subscribe to Autodesk and rent Mudbox for like $5 a month. It's not very expensive. And it's almost as good as ZBrush. Almost. Edo says, made a haircut preset that's customizable, only possible in Substance Designer. Say, good point. Yes, no, that's true. There are certain things that you can do in Substance Designer you can't do in Painter or Alchemist. You know, Designer is what you use to make these substances that you apply to your models. I mean, what Alchemist can do is it can mix different materials, substances together, or you can add your own bitmaps and stuff. But Designer is actually the program you use to properly make all of these sort of procedural materials and things. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to duplicate this layer. If I can find the duplicate. Phil's going blind. Come on, there we go, duplicate layer. I knew I'd get there in the end. And I'm just going to change the color of the one on top a little bit. So I'm just going to darken it up a little bit. Now I'm going to throw down a smart mask. And we'll probably just go with surface warm. And again, I'm going to group both of these together and mask with color selection just to the outside edge again, so it's not applying it to our wood. The duplicate we just made, the one above, I'm going to turn off the height and the normal information. I just want the color information. So if I zoom right in here, you can see it's just adding a bit of color variation to the tile. So again, we're just making the tile look a bit more interesting. But we need to add a dirt layer as well, so let's do that. So we do, again, we have smart materials built into Substance Painter, which are dirt. I don't tend to use them, just because I don't really like the look that they give you, but we might as well check it out, see what sort of look it gives us. Because they do come with Substance Painter, so can't hurt to try. If I can find them. Come on, I know you're here somewhere. There we go. They provide you one which is a dirt overlay. Actually, this might be a different one. Let's try this dirt overlay one. I'm just going to drag that in. Yeah, I don't. And again, we're just going to mask it with color selection just to the outside edge. I'm going to zoom in here and we can sort of see what it's doing. So it's sort of just adding like a dirt layer on top again. That's all well and good. What I might do is I might add a paint layer. Yeah, I might add a paint layer. Not there. Let me remove that paint layer. I need to add the paint layer to probably here. Yeah, so I'm just going to just manually just reduce my brush size a little bit. I'm going to throw some more dirt along the outside edge here. Let me just undo that last couple of strokes. That was a bit much. You normally see me using the smart masks. I don't tend to do hand painting a lot in, well, you haven't seen me do it a lot when I've been using Substance Painter, but I do it a lot when I use Mari, but I haven't used it a lot in Painter. But you can, and it's cool. Just doing hand painting here of some dirt. Just to better match up with all the dirty floor we've got going on. I'm just going to do a save, just to be on the safe side. Edo says, Substance Dirt Trick. Use the machinery smart material and then take the dirt from that. Comes with 2 dirt maps. I usually I'll either use the mud and add a smart mask, Or I have a gold material that comes up really well when you change the blending mode. So it's basically a two-tone gold material that when you change the blending mode on it makes a really nice dirt. So you change the blending mode, just pull back on the mixing level a little bit, and it can make really cool dirt too. But there are smart materials built in that come with Substance Painter that are dirt materials. I just don't tend to use them because I don't really like the look it gives you. But they are there. I'm going to... What am I going to do? I'm just going to close these up so we're not getting confused. So this is the dirt layer here. I'm going to duplicate that layer. Go in and change the color of this to make this a little bit darker as well. And change this one to make it just a bit darker because I just thought the dirt was just a little bit too light. Okay, now I'm going to the layer we just added. I'm going to go back into my paint layer. Add a little bit more dirt with the darker one. In fact, and I'm going to add a bit more dirt, then I'm going to do a bit of removal. Okay, so now we change our mixing. Where are we? Here we are. From white to black. Then I can paint out a little bit of the dark. And that should be dirty enough. I don't think we need to dirty anything else up anymore. Let's do a quick save. Remember to save, yes, and drink coffee. That's a good point. So let's export this floor now. Export the textures for it anyway. Set it to the right folder. UE4 projects, models, study, chosen, study walls, we'll put it there. Okay, let's export. Save settings. Save the project again, and that's our floor done. So we've got the walls done, all the furniture is done, floors are done, all the light fittings are done for the study. The only thing, like I said, I think I need to think about is a table, something we can sit that gramophone on and the old clock radio on. We have the desk, we have the chair, we've got the vivarium, we've got the big globe. I don't think I've actually textured up the deer head yet, the actual plaque for the deer head. No, but it's only, the deer itself is textured, it's just the wooden bit that the deer sits in front of. So that'll take 2 seconds. I've probably already got smart material here that I've made that we can use for that. So it's just a table, just something for the gramophone and for the clock radio, the old time radio to sit on. I don't think we've got that. I think that's the only other thing we might need to work on. And I actually haven't designed anything up for that yet, so I'm going to have a think about that over the weekend. What we can do is, I'm pretty sure we've got like 99% of everything ready for the study. So next week when I come back, we can jump straight into UE4 and we can start setting the study up. And then once I start putting things in the study, if I decide then that we really need I don't know, a table, we can tackle that then. But we can at least, I think, start setting things up inside of UE4 next week, because I think now we have everything we need. I don't think there's anything left apart from maybe a table. So I think we'll be jumping into UE4 next week. That's the plan anyway. Yes, and there's the game, thank you Hellforge, that you can wishlist now on Steam. This is the assets you see me making here are for that game. And that game is available to wishlist on Steam right now. Sounds like a good plan, yes. So I think we're at the end of the stream anyway, so I think we might leave it there for today. When I come back next week, we will be jumping straight into UE4 4.25, the new version, and we can start setting the study up. So we'll be placing all of this stuff we've been texturing up over the last month or two, or month, probably over the last month, putting it inside of the engine. Mix Snoopies, thank you for the follow, Mix Snoopies. I do appreciate it. And welcome to Phil Does 3D. It's good to see you, Mix Snoopies. Don't forget to, you can, if you want, you can join the Discord server if you want to post links in the gallery to your work or anything like that. But I do want to thank you guys very much for being here and for hanging out with me and for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back again on Monday next week at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's when I'm live. And we'll be jumping into UE4 and setting the study up. Finally setting the study up. We've done all the assets, apart from maybe a table. What are we calling the game? What's this? Oh, that's the game that you guys are working on. Mick Snoopy says, hey, have been lurking for a while. Have just have to follow before you end the stream. Well, thank you, Mick Snoopies. I do appreciate the follow. And like I said, good to have you with Phil Does 3D. I'll be back again, like I said, on Monday next week. 5 p.m. is when I'm live. You guys have a great week and a great weekend. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. And I will see you all again on Monday next week. See you guys.